We're about to get the debate going, so can we turn this guy's camera off, please? And
all of these guys need to drop right now.
Yeah, let's clear the panel. Let's share the live out.
Hi.
Except for
Let
me,
everybody
right?
know the debate's about to start. Tap the screen.
Except for me. You guys don't even make that known. Like, what the heck?
All right.
Well, I apologize if I start eating halfway through. Having eaten.
Jesus Christ. Hey, don't take the whole 12 if you don't need it.
Well, I guess we can leave Steelman out. Well,
No, drop him too.
okay. I'll drop him for that.
I gotta focus. No distractions.
Wait, really quickly. Are you gonna am I gonna give you the affirmative first?
Yes. Basically, the affirmative is going to go first. Opening statement, then the negation opening statement, and then the affirmative leading cross-examination. So affirmative negation, then affirmative closing statement, and negation closing statement.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yep. And with that, if you guys could, please tap your screens, like the live, share with anybody who you think might be interested. We're about to start our next debate in about like 3 minutes. I was washing dishes, but no, life's good. Lots of moving pieces.
Oh, I'm not Angel. Angel's in KG.
What does AF stand for?
I'm not gonna lie, I don't even know.
Okay. So I guess I have to ask the other members, but like, shoot, knowledge gap and whatever AF is. The debate's about to start. Wait. Oh, shoot, hold on.
Need y'all, everybody in the audience, sending the live out, tapping the screen. Let's have a good debate.
Okay, you guys can hear me?
Can you speak? I'll check.
Oh, you guys can hear me, right? Yeah. I guess. But yeah, starting in 1. But I guess in this 1 minute I can sort of do like a mini opener for the debate. So hello everyone that's here. There's 30 people in the live. This is COCO-MANIA 7, where ideas will be shaken. We were supposed to host 3 debates today. One kind of didn't really work out, so we had like a hangout kind of session in between the debates. The first debate already happened, and now we're at the last debate. Yeah, this is COCO-MANIA 7, No Ideas Left Unspoken. The debate we're about to have is Trans Women Are Women, where Z is taking the affirmative, Kylo is taking the negation. In regards to the format of the debate, it's going to be 5-minute openers, 12-minute cross-examinations, 2 rounds, and 5-minute closers. We really appreciate you guys being here. If you can, please send gifts, but you don't have to. I do know we're in the middle of an economic crisis. So we just appreciate that you guys are here and watching and tapping your screens, sharing the live. So gifts are not necessary, or gifts are not mandatory. But if you have any extra spare change, the gifts are appreciated, and they help everybody that's on this panel to make videos, produce content, and invest in whatever their social media projects are. Please gift the debaters, and please gift our single judge tonight, Hatim, first. And then lastly, if you have any more change, gift me, the host. I do reinvest into my TikTok project. With that, yeah, tap your screen, share the live, and thank you for being here, and we're going to start. So first person to go is Z. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Your 5 minutes starts when you say your first word.
Okay. The 5 minutes, just to be clear, is like me just like introducing myself, right?
Yeah, you're just doing your opening statement.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so my name's Z, and I'm gonna be taking the affirmative, the trans women are women today. Well, I just want to say thanks for everybody for stopping in. Very appreciative, especially for the people that are here to show support. I appreciate it. And thanks to everybody that believes in me. I appreciate y'all. Do I have to take the full 5 minutes?
Well, just
No.
to be clear, you're supposed to be rendering your position.
Okay, yeah, so I do give my argument now. Yes.
Yeah.
Or it's kind of your opener to your argument, and you don't have to use the entire 5 minutes or the entire amount of time for each section. You can say, I concede my time.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so P1's going to be, an individual's gender identity reflects their deeply held understanding of who they're going to be. This identity shapes thoughts, emotions, decisions, and behavior. When a person identifies as a woman, their practical identity, how they understand and act as a person, is guided by that self-identification, okay? P2 is going to be, society recognizes somebody as belonging to a gender category when that person's identity and social expression align with the cultural norms associated with that category. Only provided that these norms are non-sexist. Examples would be like based on stereotypes that just say that women must act feminine. But they're going to be grounded in equality and authenticity. Okay. Premise 3 is a woman. A woman is an adult whose practical identity centers on preserving her self-concept through non-sexist cultural norms associated with females, and being a woman, thus a matter of identity and social participation, and not strictly just of biology. Premise 4 is going to be, a trans woman is an adult who identifies as a woman and expresses this identity through social roles, behavior, and self-presentation consistent with female-associated norms. And then premise 5 is going to be, well, biological sex is neither necessary nor sufficient to determine who is a woman, since the definition of woman depends on the identity and cultural understanding, not physical traits alone, okay? Conclusion is just going to be, therefore, trans women meet the definitional and sociological and psychological criteria for being women, right? And I can concede my time. Unless y'all want justifications.
It's up to you. You can provide justifications, but...
Okay. Well, I have a lot of time left, so the justification for P1 is just going to be psychological and clinical definitions consistently describe gender identity as a person's deeply held or deeply felt sense of their gender, distinct from assigned sex. This supports the deeply held understanding of who they are, part because it's the understanding part, sorry. Because it's a core aspect of self-concept, gender identity predictably influences emotional well-being, and then decisions. And patterns of behavior. These are standard consequences of central identities in social and clinical psychology. Empirical work on gender identity shows that identification with women or with feminists is not a mere label, but structures and attitudes, right? Values, behaviors, and how people relate to group characteristics, interests, and perceived sexism. And then I have links for that if anybody needs that. And then justification for P2 is just going to be social construction accounts of gender emphasize that being recognized as a woman or man involves social norms, roles, and expectations, not just anatomy. Gender is a social position, including norms about appearance and behavior. Contemporary feminist work on authenticity and gender norms argues that gender norms are socially constructed, but can be lived authentically when individuals make them theirs, rather than simply confirming oppressive or sexist expectations. This is going to match a restriction of non-sexist norms, right? With equality and self-determination rather than stereotypes like women must be submissive. And then I have links and studies for that as well. Justification for P3. I don't know if I'm gonna have time. Human rights and legal scholarship increasingly interpret women in an inclusive way that involves multiple factors, such as biological, anatomical, gender performance, and gender identity, rather than biology alone. This shows that defining women partly in terms of identity and social participation is already present in serious normative frameworks. And I'm gonna go ahead and concede my time because I used up a lot of time there and I don't have time to finish that justification.
Okay, that's totally cool. I think you did a really good job.
Thank you.
So that's going to be your opening statement. Kylo, you get 5 minutes on the clock for your opening statement. It starts when you say your first word.
Yep, already. Let's just preface this by let's have everybody in the audience share the live out, tap the screen. Like Coco said, feel free. Big shout out to his team. He came through when we needed him. Shout out to Coco. But let's get into the opening statement. So, in today's debate, I will challenge the claim that trans women are women. I want to thank my team, KG, the organizers, obviously a team Coco, and the audience for helping this happen. And I appreciate the team, the AF team, for accepting this match. Before presenting my objections, I want to clarify my methodological stance. I hold a gender agnostic view. So that just means I suspend judgment on whether gender is a real property or category of persons. I take no position on whether gender exists as a natural, social, metaphysical feature of individuals, things of that nature. My argument for tonight, therefore, does not depend on any particular theory of gender. It only evaluates whether the definition offers successfully establishes the claim being defended. My position is simple. I negate the adequacy of the proposed definition used to support the claim that trans women are women. My contention is that the definition offered in the debate is logically defective and therefore cannot justify the conclusion. My opponent's definition of woman is of the following: an adult individual who identifies as a woman only if the individual's practical identity is sensitive to preserving one's identity by non-sexist cultural norms associated with females. For me to win this debate, I only need to provide one successful critique showing that this definition fails. For my opponent to win the debate, they must defend a sound argument for the claim that trans women are women that survives my objections. Tonight, I will present two objections showing the proposed definition fails. 1. The vicious circularity objection. The definition appeals to identifying as a woman while attempting to define what a woman is. This is a case of vicious circularity, where a definition relies on the very concept it is supposed to explain. To understand what it means to identify as a woman, one must already know what a woman is. Because the definiendum appears within the definition itself, the account is uninformative and fails to explain the concept it aims to define. When arguments rely on such circular definition, they become question begging, since the conclusion is implicitly assumed in the premise. Second, the persistence objection. The definition requires an individual to identify as a woman, but many people temporarily lack the capacity to identify. For example, when they are unconscious, under anesthesia, or in a coma. During those periods, the identifying conditions cannot be satisfied. This creates a problem of identity instability, because the person would cease to be a woman whenever that identifying capacity is absent. This leads to reductio absurdum. If identifying is required for being a woman, then whenever someone cannot identify, such as during unconsciousness, they temporarily stop being a woman. That implies gender status turns on and off depending on momentary or mental activity. That result is implausible because gender categories are ordinarily understood to persist through temporary incapacities. For these reasons, the proposed definition fails to adequately ground the claim being defended tonight. And if the definition collapses, the argument that trans women are women cannot be successfully established. And with that being said, I will concede the rest of my time.
Okay, thank you for your opening statement. That was a really good opening statement. And with that, we're going to move into cross-examinations. So for the cross-examinations, both of you are going to get periods where you can ask questions to basically establish your position, but delegitimize your opponents. During your cross-examination, if your opponent is talking too much and you want them to stop and they won't stop, you can say, sorry, I'm blanking on the word. You can say, I reclaim my time, right? Whenever you say, I reclaim my time, we pause the timer and then, get your opponent to stop talking. Then we resume the timer. I guess you guys both understand this. So, Z, if anyone has any questions, feel free to ask, but I can start your 12-minute cross-examination whenever you say your first word.
Yeah, that's perfect. Okay, so I can go over like why gender identity isn't going to stop. Simply when somebody or like a person or trans woman, trans man, etc., is going to be unconscious, right? Well, gender identity is going to exist as a mental state as well. In psychology, gender identity refers to a person's internal sense of being male, female, etc. And like a relatively stable aspect of self-concept, right?
Wait, can you just repeat that one more time?
Yeah, perfect. So the reason that gender identity isn't going to simply stop when somebody's going to be unconscious, simply because I can't perceive this as identity. Well, when we're saying, like within the argument I gave you as well, it's just saying that this is just going to be inherently like what they feel, even like this feeling or intentional, holy crap, holy blunder, that this like feeling isn't going to stop simply because somebody's going to like stop perceiving it, right? We can say that this person
Well, wait, what does it mean to identify?
I would just say like aligning yourself within the category.
Okay. And can you
And
do that if
this,
you're unconscious?
I mean, just because you're unconscious doesn't mean you haven't done it at some point, right?
So, okay, when you say, they must be identifying, is it the case that when you're unconscious you can identify?
Yes.
Okay, what does it mean when you say aligning yourself with the category, can you explain how people can identify while they're unconscious? Go ahead.
Yeah, so I just think that people can identify when they're unconscious. Well, because of a few reasons, right? Um, well, it's a psychological state of mind that's always going to be active, right? Regardless of current state of consciousness. Um,
But I don't see how that answers my question, because it doesn't seem like when you're unconscious you're in a position to align yourself with a given category. Are you saying that, your prior how you priorly conducted yourself or categorized yourself, that translates over to all moments of time, like it persists through time?
yeah, pretty much.
And what's going to be your theory of persistence?
I don't have a theory of persistence.
Okay, so how are you justified in that claim?
Sorry, can you wait really quickly? Can you explain what a theory of persistence is?
Well, basically, a theory of persistence is going to account for your notion of properties of agents carrying over throughout time. So you might want to say like your current, like who your identity is, that transfers over to when you're asleep, when you're awake, and other notions of time. I'm just asking, what's your view of that? Since you want to say, um, identifying transfers over even when they're unconscious.
Yeah, I just think that any form of like past identity there still like transfers, right? I mean, it's obvious that like they've at some point held that this like identity is like what they feel to be true to themselves, right? Um, but I wouldn't say that like simply because they aren't currently perceiving this at the moment doesn't mean that it's just not going to like exist anymore. If they've still like had this experience at some point, right?
Yeah.
And
Do you have an
also,
argument for that?
wait, hold on, I wasn't done. I did have a clarifying question. Are you saying that you're able to be like to rationalize while unconscious through some evaluation?
Well, I'm saying that under my view, I don't take it to be the case. Coma patients can identify, and you're saying that what it means to be a woman is to identify. So I'm just curious on how that works under your view.
Well, I would just yeah. Um, holy crap. Yeah, I would just say like I would hold it to be the same way that I think sentience persists, right? I don't think that simply because somebody doesn't currently have some form of sentience, that they haven't rationalized something in the past before, which means that in the cases that, you know, they're not currently rationalizing the said identity, I don't think that this identity is just going to completely stop and fail. I think that this identity is going to continue regardless because they've had these past experiences until they have the rationalization to reevaluate these conditions.
And is that analytically true, or is that synthetically verified, or is there some third option?
I can give you like research papers.
No, well, do you understand my question?
No, I don't. Can you
So
clarify?
you're saying the identity persists even when they're not in a state to self-identify, right? They can't do that awarely, but the identity persists over. And I'm asking you, is that true in virtue of the definition? Is that like synthetically verified or something else? And all it means to be synthetically verified, you might just want to say, you know, verified externally with experiences or something like that.
Oh,
Maybe
well,
the papers you were talking about substantiates that
yeah,
claim.
then yeah, it would be the one that you just said synthetically. Yeah.
Okay, and the papers consist of what information that justify that claim?
Do you want me to send them to you?
Well, no, I'm just curious on what the papers read.
Well, yeah, a lot of the papers just give like personal experiences pretty much of like people who have had these like certain identities and like why they felt the need to identify with it, right?
But I don't see how that justifies your claim that the identity persists over. Do you have a supplementary argument for that claim?
No.
Okay. I mean, this is your talking time, so I actually had another question regarding your premise. What would be the inference rule for your argument?
Oh, I'm so glad that you brought this up, right? Sorry, I have this. No, I'm not crying, I'm nervous, guys. Stop. Leave me alone. Yeah, as for that, well, motivations aren't brought through arguments, as those are just more claims to prove, and motivate the motivation. Motivate the motivation aspect, just give reasoning. Oh,
What? Do you understand my question?
yeah, you're asking for the inference rule.
Yeah. Do you think the argument's valid?
Yes,
And what do you take validity to be?
just something that's going to be true.
You think validity refers to the truthness of an argument? Well, that's a blunder. No, that's what soundness is. Validity talks about the structure of the argument, and if the premises follow from the conclude, or if the conclusion follows from the premises.
Well,
So
do you have? Wait, hold on. Does that just mean that you're like referencing that you have a contention with one of my premises that just states that my conclusion isn't going to be valid?
no, I'm looking to get clarity on why I should even think the argument is valid in the first place, given, I mean, prima facie, it doesn't seem valid, and you're not in a position to explicate the inference rule. I don't know why I should accept the argument being valid.
Wait,
Just use some nauseum inference,
yeah.
you know?
Yeah, so just to be clear, you do understand that, well, in order for a conclusion to not be valid, well, it just means that one of the premises has to be false, right? Which would mean that you have some form of a contention with one of my premises, so...
Wait, I'm sorry, you're confused. Conclusions aren't valid, arguments are valid. Premises themselves aren't valid unless you're being idiosyncratic on what it means to be valid. But the way we're using validity isn't a property of individual premises, by the way.
Sorry. Wait, can you repeat that? I'm sorry.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying, I don't know what it means to say the conclusion is valid given how we're using validity in this context. Validity in this context just talks about the argument simpliciter. But if you don't mind, can I ask another clarity question regarding your argument?
Yeah, sure. What do you have?
Okay, so I'm curious, what makes someone an adult?
What makes you an adult?
Yeah.
I would just say... Hold on, I can pull that definition for you too, I have it. Because I don't want to, like, use a definition that's not going to be valid or sound.
No, that works. I appreciate you being good faith also.
Yeah, no, I'm very good faith. I'm not like, I don't like to get rhetorical. I just think it's rude. Yeah, so I'm just going to be using like the Oxford definition of an adult, right? This is going to be a fully grown or developed person, often specifically referencing a person who has reached the legal age of majority, generally 18, and is responsible for their own actions.
Okay. So is it to say you're an adult if you're 18?
No, don't just like specifically target the 18 part, right?
A fully grown and developed person?
Yeah, a fully grown and developed person.
Okay, that's fine. And so, okay, what is a trans woman? I'm curious.
A trans woman is just going to be used within my definition of woman.
Okay, so those terms are synonymous?
Well, if I'm identifying a trans woman to be a woman, then yes.
Okay. Are there, so in your view, are there necessary and sufficient conditions to be a woman?
I mean, not necessarily. I wouldn't say so.
Wait,
I think that there's
there are
some.
no necessary
I think
conditions?
no, they're all really sufficient. I don't have any necessary conditions.
Okay, wait, is it necessary that you're an adult to be a woman?
Sorry, I was talking to my friend. Did you say that? Do you think it's going to be necessary to be an adult to be a woman?
Yeah, that was a binary question.
What was the other one?
What, I don't know what other one you're referring to. That's a plethora of questions.
Okay, wait, can you repeat them then?
Yeah,
Except for the last
well,
one.
okay, so the former question prior to the most recent question was, are there necessary sufficient conditions? Which you answered no. And the latter question was, is it necessary that you're an adult to be a woman? I'm just curious on the answer for that.
Yeah, no, it's not binary. You need to be an adult to be a woman.
So, and is that necessary?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's your first contradiction of the discussion, given you said there are no necessary conditions and then there are necessary conditions. Do you understand?
Well, yeah, yeah, I do. I did say. Yeah, I did say that. I'm sorry.
And okay, so on your view of womanhood, is okay, let's just read it. An adult individual who identifies as a woman.
Finish your last sentence.
I would just stop. It's fine.
And with that, that's going to be the first cross-examination period, and then we're going to move to OG Kylo's first cross-examination period. And it starts whenever you say your first word.
Alrighty. Once again, in the interim, let's just make sure we're tapping that screen, sharing the live out. I mean, big shout out to Hatim again. Big shout out to Coco. I just got to keep prefacing that. I mean, they really made this happen today. But let's get into the objections, right? So my first cross-exam is going to consist of me levying the vicious circularity objection. Okay. Do you understand what vicious circularity is?
Yes, I do.
Can you explain to me what vicious circularity is?
Yeah, I'm just gonna be taking vicious circularity to be sorry.
I can tell you if you want me to.
Yeah, please explain.
All right.
Fully.
It's basically, it's a logical defect where the definition or an argument depends on the very concept it's supposed to explain, making the explanation uninformative. You know, you get the definiendum and the definiens, and let's just break down how when you have vicious circular or viciously circular definitions, the argument becomes question begging. Now, would you agree that if an argument is fallacious, we have no reason to accept that argument?
Yeah, I agree. I can explain to you how the term
Wait, one second,
woman...
one second. So let's just look at your definition. True or false, the definiendum appears in the definiens.
Wait, just to be clear, it doesn't.
Okay, so when I read your definition,
yeah, go ahead.
Please. Woman, an adult individual who identifies as a woman. Okay, true or false, the term woman is in the definition of woman.
Wait. Kylo.
It was yes or no question.
Yeah, no.
Okay, so let's hear your definition of woman. Go ahead.
Yeah, so my definition of woman, okay, is going to be an adult individual who identifies as a woman.
Stop right
Only if
there.
the
Stop. So you've just contradicted yourself for the second time in the discussion. Given that I ask you, true or false, your definition of woman appears in the term woman appears in the definition. You said no, and then when you just read it, it did. So here's the P on P. The definition of woman entails the term, and it does not entail the term. That will be your second contradiction of the discussion. But now that we've identified that it is in the definitions, is that notion of woman equivalent to the definiendum notion? Hello?
Sorry.
Okay,
Okay,
when we
the
read
last
the
part.
term woman in the definition, what's the definition of that term woman there?
Yeah. Yeah, I see how it's a contradiction. Oh god.
Okay, so let's just be clear.
Yeah.
Given the argument being fallacious, we should not accept it. You would agree that the argument you levied for the proposition is question begging, correct?
Wait, just to be clear
Yes or
again.
no? I stop. Yes
Oh.
or no, please.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Is that a yes?
No. Yeah, again, right.
I ask you a yes
Well,
or no question. Is it question begging?
Kylo.
No, I reclaim my time.
No,
Stop. I reclaim my
no.
time. I reclaim my time. It's my talking time. I'm gonna ask you again. Is the argument question begging? Yes or no?
No.
Okay, let me show you how it is. Okay, do you agree that the definiendum is in the definiens? Yes or no?
No.
No. So when you just read your definition, the term woman, was it in the definition?
Oh, by definition. Okay, yeah, no, I know what you mean now. Yeah, it is.
Okay, thank you. Stop blundering. So let's get back to the question.
Okay.
Is the
Yeah, bitch, no.
stop. Don't get rhetorical. You don't want to do that. So is the argument begging the question?
Yeah, but the
Thank
usage
you.
of woman
Okay,
there.
stop. It's my talking time. No, it's my talking time. I reclaim my time.
Kylo.
I reclaim my time. You can ask as many questions as you want in your cross exam. Perfect. Now
Hold
that
on,
we've
you
established,
asked me
I
so
reclaim
many
my
questions
time.
in
I
my
reclaim my
cross-exam.
time. Moderator. Yep, thank you. So let's see what else I want to ask you. So in your definition of woman, right, where it says an adult individual who identifies as a woman only if the individual's practical identity is sensitive to preserving one's identity by non-sexual cultural norms, and you take a female to be a female is of or denoting that the sex that can bear offspring, right?
Yes.
Okay, when you say that can bear offspring, the term can there, are you talking about a logical possibility or are you using some different modal notion?
Yeah, no, I'll be using some like logical possibility.
Okay, stop right there. Perfect. So your definition of a female just talks about a logical possibility. So what's going to be the logical impossibility of a biological male being able to bear offspring and produce eggs? What's the logical contradiction?
Wait, just okay.
I need the
Yeah.
logical contradiction.
Yeah, just to be clear. When we're referring to like trans women, right? We're not necessarily saying, well, the trans women.
Stop. I
Okay.
reclaim my time. My question was very
Oh my
simple.
god.
Listen, your definition of female talks about a logical possibility and that the referent can bear offspring. Now, actually, let me preface the contradiction talk. Do you think a man and a woman, somebody could be a man and a woman at the same time? Yes or no? We need to be quick. Come on, you're using up my time.
Sorry.
Can you be a man and a woman at the same time?
Wait, are we referring to sex or gender here?
We're referring to gender.
Wait.
Yes or no? You're using up my time. Can you be a man and a woman at the same
Gender.
time?
Yeah. No.
No, perfect. So the categories are mutually exclusive. Now,
Oh.
but stop. Now, given your definition of female, right? You talked about a logical possibility. What's the contradiction in a male being able to bear offspring?
Wait. Just to be clear, you're getting your definitions confused here, right?
I'm reading your definition, by the
Yeah,
way.
you're getting my definitions confused here. Then, Right. So when you're saying like male and female, right, you're referring to biological terms,
Yes.
which is going to be related to sex rather than gender.
Okay, wait. Can you be a biological male and be a woman?
Wait, yes, when you're referring when you're using self-identification, yes.
So wait. So on your view, okay, I see what you're saying. It says one's identity by nine sex associated with females. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. So let me just get clear. I mean, I'll levy. I want to wait. How much time do I have? Oh, I got 4 minutes. I can.
4 minutes and 34 seconds.
Well, I'm chilling, man. Let's see what else I want to do here. Let me see what else I want to do. You said males. Wait, you said men can't be women?
I said that what?
Can men be women?
Yeah, again, are we referring to gender or sex
Yes,
here?
gender.
Yeah,
Okay, so you could be a man and a woman at the same time?
yeah.
Okay, so I want to flag for the right. This is the third contradiction because on the onset of the discussion, I just asked that question and she said no. Now she's saying yes. So we're on our
Wait,
Stop. You're on the third
Kylo.
contradiction. Okay, let me see. So you could be a man and a woman at the same time. That's totally fine under your view. Okay, let's just get back into this persistence talk. I want to just harp on this, right? So, you want to say when you're going to be in a coma, your identity persists over. Okay, you still don't have an argument for that, right?
Wait, not necessarily, but I can give you like my best explanation.
I'm running out of objections. Like you don't got nothing ready. Your argument has no inference rule.
Wait, I
You
just
don't
wasn't
have it.
prepared for these
Stop.
questions,
Stop
by the way.
talking. Stop talking. So your argument has no inference rule. You don't have a supplementary argument for the persistence talk. You accept the argument's question begging. You accept. You got vicious circularity. I'm running through all my objections in my first cross exam. Like, what do I even do? So let me ask you a question. Let's just talk about the cultural norms talk. So let's just say you go to Africa's cultural norms, like how they take women to be, their cultural norms of a woman is of our cultural norms of a male or of men, right? If you go to Africa right now, would you still be considered a woman or would you be considered a male?
I mean, yeah, you would still be honestly, it still depends on what you're self-identifying as.
But so then what is the cultural norms in your definition talks if that can be overridden by your self-identification?
Wait, just to be clear, cultural norms aren't referring to like identity in itself. It's just referring to like non-sexist ideas of what people would typically perceive like a woman or a female to be.
Okay, so I guess because now it's a little confusing. Can there be no cultural norms and you still be a woman?
Yeah.
Okay, so what are the necessary conditions to be a woman? Go ahead. You got to be an adult. What else?
Um, well, I would say you'd have to be a woman, right? Or, sorry, you said female.
No, I said what are the necessary conditions to be a woman?
Yeah, I would just say you'd have to be an adult, and then, I would say you'd have to identify as a woman, right?
Identify. Anything else?
Yeah, I would say, where else should I go with this? I would also say I would also say a necessary condition could be, an individual's identity and then psychological evaluation to
Could
the
be
identity.
when is it or could it be?
Yeah, no, it is.
And what is it again?
Yeah, it's just going to be, a deep psychological evaluation to the identity, right? And then, is my phone about to die? Oh, it is.
A deep psychological evaluation of identity. Hello? See what
Yeah,
I'm
and
oh,
then my other one was just like, an individual's practical identity.
Okay, what do you take identity to be?
Sorry. Identity?
Yes.
Finish up your last sentence.
You can just answer that.
Yeah, that's fine. For identity, I'm just going to be using Oxford's definition as well. And I can pull that for you.
Please.
With that, you guys want to move on to the second.
Is it fine if she gives that definition or no? I don't want to.
Oh yeah, she can give that definition.
Yeah, a definition of identity that I'm going to be using is just going to be defines defining who or what a person or thing is, including their unique characteristics, beliefs, or expressions and experiences.
Okay. And with that, that's going to conclude the first round of cross-examination. We have one more round of cross-examination and then the 5-minute closers. So yeah, we could get started on that. I do want to ask, do both participants want to continue with the debate? You guys are totally fine with continuing the debate, finishing it out?
Yeah.
Yeah, I am too.
Okay. With that, Z, you're going to get 12 minutes on the clock to ask any questions to establish your position or make points to discredit your opponent's position. And it starts whenever you say your first word.
Okay, perfect. First of all, I never actually got to go over how this definition of woman I'm going to be using isn't going to be circular, right? So first of all, the reason that this definition is not going to be viciously circular because the two womens are doing different, like definitions of women are going to be doing different work, right? When I'm referring to the first definition of woman, she's going to be the target category in which we're going to be defining, okay? And then the second woman is just going to be referring to a publicly recognizable social role shaped by norms about females, which we can explain independently in sociological terms, right?
Can you repeat that second one?
Oh, the second one? Yeah. The second woman just going to be referring to a publicly recognizable social role shaped by norms about females, which we can explain independently in sociological terms, right?
Publicly recognizable. And the first one was what again?
The first one was just the target category that we're going to be defining. So this is going to be the category of women as a whole.
What does that mean there? What's that definition?
What do you mean?
The first definition of woman, can you explicate it?
Yeah, so when I'm like referring to here is, okay, well, when I'm defining woman, I'm just taking it to be an adult individual who identifies as a woman. Only if the individual's practical identity is sensitive to preserving one's
That's the first
identity by
definition?
non-sexual cultural norms. No, I'm trying to explain to you here, okay? When I'm using the term woman, when I'm first explaining what my definition of woman's going to be, I'm just going to be referring to the target category that we're going to be defining, which in this case is just going to be woman. And then when I use the actual definition of woman, I'm just saying that it's going to be referring to a publicly recognizable social role shaped by norms about females, in which we can explain independently in sociological terms.
Shaped by norms. Shaped by norms. What else was that? Finish that sentence off. Shaped by norms and what?
In which we can explain independently in sociological terms.
And what are these norms comprised of?
These norms can be like comprised of like anything that's like going to be non-sexist towards like this group of women, right? This could be like how women are typically like more nurturing, etc.
Are there necessary norms?
Huh?
Sorry. Are there necessary norms?
No, I wouldn't say that there's going to be.
Are there sufficient norms?
Yes.
What are the sufficient norms?
Yeah, I feel like these sufficient norms are just going to be something in which isn't going to be sexist towards the group of women, right? And then my second.
But what are they? What are they?
Like the sexist terms in which aren't going to be applied there?
What do you think a norm is? What do you think a norm is?
Wait, a norm?
Yeah.
Yeah, norm's just going to be something in which is going to be like normally referred to there. Well, I probably shouldn't say that because that holds, yeah.
Huh?
Sorry, I was gonna like use a very bad definition that I probably want to use. Sorry.
You said there are necessary norms. I'm curious on what those are. I don't even know what a norm. I don't even know what a norm means here at this point.
Oh, yeah. So a norm's just going to be a standard model or pattern of behavior that's typically expected or accepted within a particular group or society.
Mm-hmm. And what are those necessary expectations given your activity, the way someone operates? What are those norms you're referring to be a woman on the latter definition?
Wait. I think you're
Should I recapitulate? Can you recapitulate my question actually? Were you tracking?
Yeah, I was. When you're saying like are you saying like what's gonna be the necessary condition
No,
for
you
these
said
norms?
there are no necessary norms. You said there were sufficient norms. And then I asked you to levy those sufficient norms so I can understand your view, given that your view is very sloppy right now. I can't even understand it.
Yeah, I think that some of these could be. Let's go with. So the norms that I'm going to be using here are just going to be like typical non-sexist terms, right? We could just go with like anatomy and ambition. And then assertiveness and leadership.
Are those all independently sufficient, or does it need to be a cluster of these norms?
No, I think they can be independently sufficient.
And you said ambition?
Hold on. Wait, yeah, autonomy and ambition, right? This is just going to be the freedom to design your own life, including pursuing career-focused roles and financial independence, etc.
Okay, so basically, wait, I'm curious. You're saying both the definitions are mutually exclusive, or I'm sorry, you're saying they're distinct. How are they distinct exactly?
Wait, what do you mean?
You said you've given two definitions of woman now, right? And that the definitions are not the same. That's how you're avoiding the vicious circularity objection. And I'm curious on what's going to be the symmetry breaker between both definitions.
Wait, again, it's not. Oh, okay. We can go back over this one more time, okay?
One more time. We haven't done it yet.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, I already explained this to you. I just said that like these two terms, right? Well, they're going to be the same term. They're just going to be used in different manners, right? Well, the first term is just going to be referring to the category in which we're going to be defining, right? And then the second term is just going to be referring to a publicly recognizable social world shaped by norms about females, in which we can explain independently in sociological terms.
Can you give me the symmetry breaker?
Wait, what do you like? Symmetry breaker between like the two?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
That's needed. That's needed to say they're not because to say they're not identical is to say they're distinct. I want the argument for them being distinct. Do you have an argument for them being distinct?
Oh. Okay. I feel like I don't think you're tracking here, okay?
No, I can recapitulate your point and show you I'm listening.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so your point is basically you said my objection about the vicious circularity is false, given that the notion of woman and the defining ends of the prior notion of woman are not identical. So there's actually two different ways the term woman is being used. And then I ask you, what's going to be the argument they're distinct? And you say I'm not listening, but I just repeated it for you.
Wait, okay. For one, I still think you're confused. Yeah.
You know, saying I'm confused doesn't make you look good, by the way.
No, again,
so stop with the rhetoric. Stop with the rhetoric.
Why are you okay? Okay. Yeah, one's just gonna be like used to like establish category, while the other's gonna like explain sociological and psychological.
So you're confused. Ask for the argument they're distinct. Do you have a supplementary argument for that?
Oh, no.
Okay. So then why should I accept the view they're distinct given you can't prove that?
Oh.
Yo, you're in the Shark Tank right now. You want to just conclude? You could concede and we could just end it. That would be like the good faith thing to do.
Well, I think I'm still being good faith regardless.
No, I'm not saying
I've let you ask me a bunch of questions.
You've been good faith. No, you've been good faith. I'm just saying we could just concede, like, just for the, that's what you're supposed to do if you're in this position right now.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with conceding my time.
Oh, I was saying concede the whole debate, but because I'm not gonna lie, my cross exam is gonna just be an obliteration. You just want to concede the whole debate?
Yeah, but I would like closing statements.
Okay, no problem.
Okay. Okay, so we're just moving on to closing statements.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. With that, Z, you get 5 minutes. And it starts whenever you say your first word.
Perfect. Okay. Yeah. I just want to say, yeah, y'all were right. This is my first formal. I think I did okay, but you know, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Secondly, I think we're still confused on the whole circularity thing. I'm not necessarily saying that these are two separate definitions, okay? I was just saying that these are going to be referred to in different ways, right? Rather than saying that these are going to be used separately, right? Because they were used together. And then I do want to also add that where else should I go with this? Oh, I also want to say I did have a lot of contradictions there, and I was like very confused. And then with my, I think it was my sufficient conditions. I did have my sufficient conditions in which I don't think I actually got through all of them. I think I stopped, yeah. And then as well as for like the whole rest of the actual debate, rather than attacking any premises or having any contentions with either premise, right? I think that instead we rather attacked, well, definitions there, right? I hate you, Unlucky. I think that rather than attacking the actual premises, I think we got sidetracked to the definitions in question, in which I did explain how they aren't going to be circular, despite like having that attacked, which I don't think that actually got anywhere. And then as for positions that I was unaware I had to hold in order to like make a claim there, yeah, I don't know. I think I did bad. I concede my time.
Okay. With that, OG Kylo, you can do your closing statement, and it'll start whenever you say your first word.
Alrighty. I'm gonna say it one more time, man. Big shout out to KG. You know, we had the whole team together working day and night, prepping for this, sleepless nights to make this happen and represent. Unfortunately, my boy Cap didn't get a chance to debate, so I had to come through and do what was needed for the team. Shout out to Rookie. He did what he was supposed to do. I mean, and shout out to the AF team. They was willing to accept this debate and this event, so big shout out to them. Well, given that my opponent conceded, obviously I win the discussion, but I still want to go over a few things for the audience and maybe for people who also hold to Z's view. And you guys could just work on these problems. So first, she said that, we didn't really get to talk about the premises. Well, given that prima facie argument wasn't valid and there was no inference rule levied or any other motivations to believe the argument's valid in virtue of some other notion, that's why we didn't talk too much about the argument. But then when we delved into the definitions of the argument, we found a plethora of contradictions, right? So even if the argument was valid, given those definitions entailed, it's definitely not sound. In the discussion, I levied two critiques. I levied a persistence critique and I levied a question begging or vicious circularity critique, which neither went uncontested. So given that the two win conditions I levied on the onset were satisfied and my opponents conceded, I think that's all evidence in favor of me winning this debate. What else do I want to cover? Let me think. There's really not much to be said, so I won't just be a yapping machine. I'm gonna concede my time and let the judge give his verdict.
Okay. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the debate. And I guess I'll say some words on the debate. That concludes the debate. Thank you both competitors for coming up to compete. And look, when it comes to debating, it does take time to develop the skill. I think good effort from both opponents, and maybe just because today probably wasn't like the greatest performance, that doesn't mean that you can't like improve in the future, and there's always room to grow. Everybody has space to grow. And so I think both people gave great effort, and I think that this could be a stepping block for people to become greater debaters. This applies to all competitors. And yeah, I like this debate. Good effort from both people, and there's always room to like grow and become better. So um, if anything, just take this as like a learning lesson, um, and yeah, it's a stepping block to become greater. This is just a block in the path. But with that, Hatim's gonna give his judge's vote if he still
Oh, you
wants
didn't
to.
say thank you for your candor.
Oh, and yeah, thank you guys for your candor. That's why I say that for other debates. But Hatim's gonna give his judge's vote, and I guess um I can run the audience poll, and then, but yeah.
All right. Hey, I just want to congratulate everybody for finishing the debate. And I actually want to really give a round of applause to Z. This is your first formal debate. Debating is not easy. It's a daunting task, but you showed your courage by being up here and agreeing to be here, and that's really commendable. Kylo's an experienced person in these arenas, and you were not shy to take up the offer, so that's commendable in itself. Secondly, I think there was a lot of I think the debate was wrong from the opening statement, and the reason why is because Kylo was the only person to frame the debate, and his framing was not challenged. I think in debates, framing is probably most important, if not second most important. However many is one of it's up there in terms of how to win the debate. I was waiting for you to challenge any of the criterion that he set forth for how to win the debate, because as a judge, I'm looking for what you as debaters think, what it means to win the debate, and to convince me that that's what it means. Now, if somebody says, here's what winning the debate would mean, if I don't hear any refutation to it, that just means that's what it is I'm evaluating the debate on. So he was talking about, if that Kylo's a gender agnostic, if the definitions offered is going to include something like vicious circularity, and things, or if the position, if the woman if a woman is defined as something that entails sexist positions or ideologies, then that's how we would not understand that that's what losing the debate means or winning the debate means on his side means. There's few ways you could have tackled what Kylo was saying. Kylo, if I were in your position, in fact, I believe your position, right? Your position is trans woman or woman. That's my personal stance. I've debated that topic on several occasions. There are some issues you could have tackled, such as the framework of necessary and sufficient conditions for what a woman means. There might not be any necessary and sufficient conditions. There may be sufficient conditions, but for when he asks you what are the list of sufficient conditions, you could have said, well, I don't really have a totality of a list. Like there isn't here's the list and you can pick out. You can say the list, the idea or the concept is vague, right? And he would have to argue against the idea of what for vague concepts, right? If you frame the debate where gender identity is not this neat category that has clear rigid lines. If you debate it from that perspective, Kylo would have had a harder time. And I think just the major concessions, right, were lethal. I think you did a good job being honest. I mean, it takes a lot to concede in a debate. Being honest you don't concede without being honest. And I think being honest is one of the rare things that we even see in debates happen as well. So I would commend you for that. But that still looks bad when you do concede as many times as you did. Some of the questions levied were, are there, like the I considered for judging the debate, had it gone that far? So are there any necessary sufficient conditions for someone to be a woman? Initially, I think you said yes and no to this. I'm not exactly sure, but that was one of the questions. Does the term woman appear in the definition of woman? You said no, and then change your mind to saying yes. Can you be a woman, man, and a woman at the same time? Initially, you said no, and then you change your mind to saying yes. And then, can someone be a woman? Here's a question that you could have really pushed back on. Can someone be a woman without social norms? You said yes. And then he asked you, oh, so what are the necessary conditions for a woman? You said adults, and then like the psychological schema of a woman. But the whole premise or the idea of your position is that woman is a social category. So I would have answered no. You can't be a woman without the social norms. Like they're one. You can't have one without the other. And there wouldn't be anything Kylo could really say against that, right? Like the whole, like you're not talking about sex, you're talking about gender, which is a social phenomenon. Absent social norms, it just wouldn't be this thing. So all that to say, there's room for improvement. I think you were respectful, except for the bitch part. But yeah,
That was justified, by the way.
yeah, Kylo won.
Okay.
Kylo's pissed
Okay,
off?
wait. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. Could you say that again, boss?
Yeah, Kylo won the debate, obviously.
Okay, perfect. All right.
Oh, okay. With that, thank you for your judgment.
Coco, you got pissed off at me?
Who, me?
No, Coco. I was just trying to be instructive and
Oh no,
informative for the debate.
oh no, me personally, like I don't mind it. I think you did a terrific job. Like I think you did a perfect job.
Okay.
And with that, the clipboard just
Are we
ended.
doing? Are we
by the
doing
way-
questions?
Yeah, I do have a friend who has a question for Kylo.
Okay.
He was supposed to debate Cap, but Cap had something come up. If you wouldn't mind letting him ask Kylo a question. It's the inverse trivialist person.
Oh, sorry guys. I had to deal with something really quick, but okay, who wants to go first? Who's going first?
Go ahead and let inverse trivialist up, please.
Okay, yeah, and right now we're doing audience comments, questions, concerns, and critiques. And if you guys have to go, you can leave at any time. But got some questions.
One last thing that I want to say. Z. Kylo's framing made it seem that your definition was like invalid or sound. But one thing that I would have pushed back on is whether or not definition position that they're not. And it seems like you're accepting that Kylo's framing that definitions are. So I would have just pushed back as like, oh, I'm not saying definitions.
Yeah.
What are the reasons to think definitions are truth after in the first place? They're stipulative. So you don't need them to be sound. It's not something definitions are. All right, there we go.
Kylo, so on the persistence theory for identity theory, how do you handle psychological continuity theorists like John Locke and Derek Parfit's view on connectedness of psychological states?
Yeah, so when you ask how do I handle it, is that just to say what would be my response if that was levied in the dialectic?
Yeah, so I have under the view when she makes the argument that these entities obviously can still identify them why unconscious. So the kind of framework here is just when you're unconscious, asleep, a coma, whatever you want to posit this as, you are not having conscious experience. Yet when you wake up, you correctly say, I am the same person who went to sleep, had surgery, right? You would always be the same entity. I'm more so curious if we're given the explanatory case or semantical thesis of this, would you be able to motivate a view above psychological continuity or no?
I'm agnostic on that. I think all that's being said here is, look, given her view, is this a view that she's taking? Does it allow for them to be women while they're unconscious? And then what's going to be the argument that this view is true?
Okay, well, okay, so wait. You're agnostic on persistence theory? To be clear?
Correct.
Okay, and then I'm assuming that just follows in contingent with like identity theory, okay?
Yeah.
Right? Okay, so so you wouldn't have like a way to motivate. You probably just ask for like the argument, and then with the argument, let's say she was to provide a deductive case. I guess this also kind of raised it. Do you believe like deductive arguments need some sort of inferential structure or no?
Under what modality?
We can, well, not more so a modal. I don't know what you mean by modality.
Well,
there,
when
like,
you ask me, do they need X, I'll take need to be a modal notion.
no, not in the sense of like, I guess under like if you want a modality case, I'll have like a modal intentionalist theory.
That's not what I'm asking. I'm asking when you say do they need to be this way.
No, my bad. Yeah, normative. It's gonna be a normative modality. So
That's
more of a
not
semantic.
a normative
Yes,
modality.
yes.
That's
A
fine.
normative
I'm not
mod-
clear on the view. I'm not clear on the view, but
Okay. Normative modality is just more of a semantical case, saying that outside of logical like the laws of logic and how we discern impossibility from a logical case, the normative case more so pertains to linguistical and semantical cases on how things are impossible, and they refute that logic is needed.
Inverse. This seems like a debate, but it's supposed to be just questions and answer.
No, I sorry if it sounds like that. I just want like some clarity on that, and I just wanted to respond to what his question was towards me. But okay, if you're agnostic, then that's fine. I appreciate that. That's all I want to ask.
thank you.
Yeah, I mean, you can write your question down because I mean, I'm sure you guys can talk about it later.
Huh? Yeah. All right.
Okay, and with that, we can get to the next person. We do have a line of people, and we'll try to get through them as quickly as possible. Hatim's going to be in charge for a bit. I got to take care of something. But what were you going to say, Z?
Does the team have
I was
mod?
gonna say I can send Chase
Yeah.
over the argument actually, because I was gonna send him the premises.
Yeah, that's fine if you want to send it, but I don't really have questions. The main things I have is, I mean, you know, the debate went interesting. That's all I have to really say about that. The main issues that I had from the beginning, at least, well, I don't know if if Z's original argument was formal or informal. It seemed like it was informal, so
Or
it didn't seem like those. What's that?
I was gonna say it definitely seemed formal. Her opening statement was she gave the premises and conclusion.
Well, premises and conclusions can still be informal. That doesn't have to be like
No,
when
but
you
the
say
way.
at premise one and premise two, those don't have to be formal. So
So what do you mean by formal then? Because that's my understanding. What formal means is
He's just gonna be
instead of
referring.
premises,
Was
at
it
least
the inference rule?
conclusion that follow a valid rule of inference.
Yeah.
And then informal can just be like in natural language, but also a set of reasons or premises that lead to conclusion. It's just when you're giving an informal argument, you're just giving an argument with their natural
Wait.
language that can still be put into.
So are
set
you
of
saying
premises.
there's no such thing as a formal invalid argument?
Well, no, that's why I said formal arguments are supposed to be valid. If it's invalid, if you're saying that I'm giving a formal argument, then
So
you
there's
can
no
just
such
say
thing as a
that-
formally invalid argument. Is that what you're saying?
Well, if an argument's invalid, that's I don't even know what that's asking.
Could it be? Is it possible that an argument is formal but it's invalid? Like the structure is formal.
Yeah, it can be formal and still be invalid if one of the
Yeah.
premises aren't true.
No, those
But
I
the
don't
issue
follow the
is
conclusion.
this is from any. I can give you a logic textbook that talks about this, but when we're talking about informal arguments, at least they don't have to have inference rules, but and also they follow with premises and conclusions. So I'm not sure if Z was giving a formal or informal argument. That's besides that point. But another thing I wanted to bring up as well was when talking about the psychological profile and the persistence theory. I don't have an issue with the question like that, but it seems like when someone brings up the psychological profile, they're presumably talking about the psychological continuity and the persistence through psychology. That's another thing I think. I don't know if it was just me that thinks it's obvious since it's just in the papers, but I don't know when that question was brought up, it kind of seemed a little iffy. When presumably when they're talking about a psychological continuity view, they're talking about the psychological persistence. But that's all I had to say about the two.
Thank
Okay.
you, Chase.
Thank you for coming up.
Also,
No
that
problem.
argument got sent your way. You can look over that.
Flexi.kg, did you want to say a comment or a question?
I've got a question for Z. Z,
Go ahead.
can we be friends?
You know, I have my problems with KG members, but sure.
Okay.
Okay. Have a good
All right,
day.
that's it.
Okay,
Have a
G.
good day.
Simp is crazy. All right, Aisha, question, comment? Aisha?
Yo, Z, is this your first debate ever?
This is my first formal, actually.
But like, even in informal debates,
Yeah, no, this isn't my first, like, ever debate, and I normally hold my arguments pretty well. I just don't think I, like, understand the structure of formals yet.
okay, well, just have better
Yeah.
definitions for things. Alright.
Oh,
I mean, that's about it, really.
Thank you,
Most
Aisha.
people be pedantic
perfect.
here
Thank you, Aisha.
sometimes, but you have to have better definitions.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
All right, Forrest Mendez. Oh, he disconnected. Sabrina Carpenter.
All right, guys. Hello. You know
Hey,
me.
Lex, don't you dare start.
No,
Yeah,
I'm not
question or
gonna say
comment?
shit, right? I just want to point out, Kylo, you did pretty well in the debate. I'm not gonna lie, from what I watched. Z, we're definitely gonna talk
Don't you
about this
dare.
dumb shit fucking later. I'm not gonna
Okay,
lie.
Mr. Does it have a
Contradictions.
conditional?
Oh my god, bro. Yo, that's not even my fault, bro. That's what my teacher told me. My teacher was trolling me at that time. Anyways, it's okay. We're gonna get a new teacher anyway.
It's okay.
Unlucky's in the comments. Just want to point out, Unlucky should Loki just be my teacher.
I'm pretty sure Unlucky already said no.
Did he really?
I'm pretty sure.
Oh
But
shit! Never mind then. I'm gonna go ask Poker now.
hey,
But like,
Okay.
he's just said no. Anyways, just want to point out. Shout out to KG. Shout out to AF. Low key. You guys all did
by the
amazing
way,
in the
Lex,
debates.
what does AF even stand for?
Stands for axiom failure.
Okay, perfect.
Why?
Because I didn't know that, and I got asked, and I was like,
How the fuck are you in? How the fuck are you in AF and not
Because
know
you
this
Loki
shit?
just messaged me, was like, "You down to debate?" I was like, "Yeah."
Wait,
Oh,
what
yeah, I
does it
forgot about
stand
that
for?
shit. It stands for axiom failure. It just means like core assumptions don't hold. Like the axiom part just comes from my fucking goat Error. I think we all know him.
Freaking Dan.
Yeah,
Okay.
we all love Dan. That's my fucking goat. But yeah. All right. Shout out everybody. Bye bye.
Alright.
Bye, Lex.
Bye bye.
Well,
Wex. I'm Sabrina Carpenter.
Oh yeah, sorry. Bye, Sabrina Carpenter. It was nice speaking to you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Wait, can you like just drop me? Because like if I
Bye,
leave, it's
girl.
gonna pick me up alive.
Yep, I got you.
I appreciate that.
Isn't she so nice?
Yes.
but also, for the record, formal debates are a bit more like intimidating and like they're harder
Yeah,
to like
I
prep
don't know
for.
if y'all could tell by like the entire debate. I was pretty nervous, especially because, like I'm like going against somebody who's like obviously a lot more knowledgeable than I am.
Yeah, but also it's totally fine. Like, I mean, when I was
This is
first
how
like
you learn.
formally debating, like my first formal debates, like I lost a few, and like it takes time to learn the skill, and yeah, they do require a lot more like preparation, and they are more like intimidating and like up close.
Yeah, and a lot of my
Yeah.
preparation days were spent on like family trips, which in fact I'm like preparing for one at the moment.
Yeah. But it's totally fine. Like, like there was a lot of people on here that can say like when they first started, they weren't really like experts, but now they're like super
It's okay.
awesome.
I have pretty good teachers for the most part, I would say. I have great teachers.
Yo, I'm willing to take
Absolutely.
like two more questions that I gotta head out.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's totally cool. But yeah, next comments, questions, concerns, or critiques. What you got for us? I can't see the rest of your name.
The Spear, what do you have? Do you have a
Spear.
question or a comment?
I have a lot of open-ended questions, but
Just one.
just one thing. You guys have my email domain. if you guys want to send me any of
Yeah,
those
let's go
research
ahead and get
papers,
this guy. Let's just get this
or
guy.
just push me off. It's cool.
What are you talking about? Email domain. Do you have a question or a comment?
It's Matt. Period.
Yeah,
Curl.
let's just get him out of here.
What is this guy talking about? Oh my god. Here we go.
It's confusing.
Waiting for guests to accept. All right, you left. Let's see if this person has something. Waiting for guests to join. Nope, nobody. All right, anybody else want to come up and say question or comment? Last chance.
Yeah, last chance because I'm gonna head out too.
Going once, going twice. One last thing, and just for your sake as well, Z. About the identity question, right? When he asks you, is it possible to identify while conscious? And you also said something like feelings don't stop while unconscious. I think you didn't have to really take.
Did I say that?
Yeah, you said feelings don't
Well,
stop.
by feelings, I was just referring
Like you
to
talking
like
about.
some form of self-identity there. Like when somebody has like a deeply rooted feeling towards like preparation to
Yo, guys, I
something.
gotta go. I appreciate you guys. I'm
Yeah,
sorry
go
to
ahead.
interrupt you. All right, take care.
Well, the point I'm just trying to say something, Z. Is like, it seems like you were saying something like somebody can still identify as somebody while unconscious. And then Kylo was asking you specifically, how is somebody able to identify while they're unconscious? And that's not
Yeah.
something that people can do while unconscious. But what I think the strategy that you could have taken is something like, we can infer what somebody's identity is with how they usually identify while they're conscious. So even though they can't actively identify when they're unconscious, we can still infer what their identity is from the collection of events when they are conscious. If we were to ask them based on their prior, like the most recent identification that we're aware of, like
Yeah.
you'd use an inductive case, why you would infer correctly
Yeah.
that whatever not that you need them to be like actively identify, because then
Yeah.
you're setting yourself up for failure in that regard. I hope I'm making sense to you.
Or I'm just Loki doing something right now.
Okay.
You're
All right,
good.
well,
But
thank
you guys for having me. I really appreciate the combos and the critiques there. I appreciate it. I always love critical feedback. But thank you guys again. I'm gonna head out. Bye.
Absolutely. Come back anytime and debate anytime. But with
Hey,
that,
Coco, I'm gonna need my $20 for the night.
$20. I mean, like low key, like I could get that to you, low key.
Give me that, bro. It took like 4 hours out of my night for this.
I mean, sure. Like I can get that to you one of these days.
Nah, I appreciate it. It was pretty. Man, bro, you should have. Did you see the comments, bro? They're ruthless. Honestly, bro, I think it's okay to have people that are inexperienced to do these rounds. The reason why is because hopefully they're of the personality to grow from it, and then if they come again, we get to see their growth. I do think there should be some kind of barrier to entry here, and that might be like, are they good faith interlocutors? That might be the criteria, because so far these two debates that we had tonight was good faith, like probably one of the most good faith debates I've seen. And when I see debates where there's a bad faith interlocutor, it's like, oh my god, here we go. They're unjust and things like that. I mean, not unjust, but they're like they're just wasting time at this point.
I think one of the best like debate improvements I've seen is like Wisdom Song. I think Wisdom Song is like an amazing debater right now. And at first it was a little rocky, but she's definitely grown to the point where like I would be intimidated to debate Wisdom Song on like anything in regards to like the Bible. Like I would not take that debate because like I think she's just very good at it now. And I think like, Yeah, I think like we do need to do um like skill matching for sure. You know, we might want to skill match, check where everybody's skills are at when we're pairing them up and different things like that. But I think every contestant, good effort tonight. And I think that people did what they did. And yeah, good effort tonight. That's all I can say. I think people came up and gave it their best shot. And I like all the debates that happened today. Yeah. I can't do
For
it
your
without.
candor. Thank you for your candor and your professionalism.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Thank you, Forrest. But yeah.
I mean, maybe we can have an ELO system.
Maybe. Yeah, like I am like on my
You're
blog
keeping
site.
track of the win-loss records, right?
Oh yeah, I'm already doing that. On my blog site, I have a scoreboard. I do need to update it, but it has like the records of every single debate I've hosted, the ones on my channel and also the ones on Day of Debates. And
Yeah, I'm
so
gonna need you to revise my record. I want
yeah,
my debate against
yeah.
King.
It's also gonna it's gonna include the King of the Hill debates, and it's also gonna include the Day of Debates debates. And yeah, like the one on my blog site's gonna be like every single debate I've hosted, Day of Debates, and also the ones on my channel. But the one on the Day of Debates website is gonna be only Day of Debates. So I do have a scoreboard. I just need to update it. I'm a
I can
bit
help you. I can help you with the ELO system. I've created ELO systems before.
we honestly could probably work on that. I actually probably will hit you up for that. But how does it work?
Well, there's just an equation that, based on the win-loss record, you get a number, and based on the quality of the wins. So, if somebody with a really high win percentage beats somebody with a really low win percentage, they wouldn't get as much increase in their number of rank versus if they were to win against somebody of equal weight. So you would still gain rank if you win regardless, but you would gain less or more depending on the quality of your opponent.
Okay. Is there like is there a website where I could build something like that?
I usually just use AI, so ChatGPT.
Thinking like how could I build that web page and have it accessible to everybody? Um I'm using Blogger right now for my blog site, but like maybe I can find something else like Wix or something, or I don't know.
Oh, okay. All right, bro. Thanks for having me.
Yep.
Peace.
And I guess does anyone have any more questions, comments, or concerns for me? I might go hang out in somebody's live for a little bit, or I don't really got anything else, but I guess closing statements for this debate event. Thank you guys for being here. I can't do what I do without you guys. I appreciate the support. Remember that like life is about life is a journey. Sometimes there's going to be like some rocky shores. I think the people who win in life are the people who continue to like fight despite the challenges that they face. I think everybody in here, all the debaters, all the people watching, you all have something to offer the world. Remember that you are special. You have a talent. You have something to give to the world. Don't let anybody take that away from you or make you feel like you're unworthy. I think everybody's worthy to sit at the table. You just have to work really hard and you have to grab your seat at the table. Which I don't know, the table is some kind of like metaphorical thing for success or whatever. Whatever success might look like for you. And with that, you know, yeah, I'm chasing my dream, hopefully to do this social media thing for a living. And I hope all of you guys chase your dreams. I hope all of you guys obtain your dreams before you pass away. And all of you guys are brilliant, smart, capable, and you can do anything that you set your mind to, and you can make your life whatever you want it to be. And you all have something to offer. Don't let anybody tell you differently. I hope you guys all contribute something amazing to the world, live a happy life, live a fulfilling life, and make the world a better place. And I think all of you guys can, and I think all of you guys already do. So with that, Is anyone going live? I'm gonna go to their live streams, but I'm gonna end the live and I'm gonna go hang out with anybody that might be live. So with that, that's all I have to say. Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for all the gifts. Thank you for the gifts that were sent to the debaters and the judges. And with that, I will end it here and go. I'll be around. I'll be in people's lives. But yeah. Oh wait, actually, hold up. Someone has something for me.
Do you like bussy?
Oh hell no.